Okay, so now we're going to take this deer cookie cutter to the next level and make him a little Rudolph with some horns here instead of just felted horns. I mean, cookie cutter horns are okay, but they're just not great. So we're going to take the first shape you're going to make, and probably the only shape, is the deer head. Don't make the ears, because we're going to put those on separate. We're going to basically just want to make the shape. You're using this cookie cutter to make the shape of his head. So it's kind of like a light bulb head. Looks like a C9 bulb. Let's get this nice and stabbed. Remember your edges. I'm not dishing on all cookie cutter ornaments, but I just like to take them. Let's make them extra. I think they're way more fun, and I really think they're cute on packages. So we've got that shape, but let me peel it off. I'm gonna stick it back in. It shouldn't matter what side I'm on. Okay, so we have that shape. You need two 5-inch 18 gauge wires, and you're going to want to twist them together. You're going to end up with like you want to leave his little forkies out. Then curve it into a little curve. It goes right here. So what we're going to do is like what we did with the gnome and the angel. We're just going to felt this wire in. Kind of felt along either side of the wire. Cookie cutter is just really to maintain the shape of his head, which is kind of like a triangle. So you technically don't even need the cookie cutter to do this. I'm going to build it up some more. I just keep adding. And you can take it off, flip it over. Don't worry, those are going to move for a while. Let's add some to the back. Just be mindful of that wire in there. Let your needle do the work. Don't be super aggressive about stabbing. Just let your needles do the work. You can use your pen tool if you want to get this all combined. This would especially make a cute little pin. Color I'm using is, believe it or not, called Deer. I figured it is a good choice to make a deer out of, since it's called Deer, and it's a Corriedale sliver. You want this fairly well felted because when we put the eyes on, if it isn't, they will just sink into nowhere. You can see that the antlers are becoming more attached the firmer we get the head. Got these stray fibers out here. I was playing with a snowflake cookie cutter, and you know what? It turned into a daisy because it didn't look like a snowflake when I was done. I was like, you know, it'd be okay if you did a flat one. I was trying to do a 3-dimensional one, but snowflakes are pretty. You could do just the cookie cutter, and then you could like bling it up with rhinestones. That would be pretty cool. But I ended up with a daisy. So that's why you're not seeing a snowflake, because I didn't like it. Notice I keep turning it forward and backwards. You can see it's starting to firm up. Now you don't want square sides, so you want to just move this along like this. We want to maintain this little point down here. That's where his little nose is going to go. So that's not bad. Okay, next up, ears. Actually, let's not do the ears yet. Let's wrap his horns. So what we've got are these two little horns. And I've got this light brown color. You can use gray. You can use any color you want, you know, because they are kind of like an off-white color with stripes in them. And you're just going to start right here at his head, tack it a little bit. See that I almost took off wrapping without telling you to do that. And we're going to wrap thin up, and then we're going to go pick a side. We're going to go up one side. I hope I wasn't out of frame there to show you this. You can spread them further apart if it's easier for you. So I know one problem that people always talk about is their wires poking out. So I want you to go to the end, and I want you to bend this little wire over, and you see we wrapped it. So now that end isn't going to stick out, but it does reverse your wrapping. So now I'm coming back this way. And I know I make this look easy. It's practice. So now we're going to go up the other side. All the way to the end. No, don't worry, all the way to the end, and then bend that over so that covers that. But now we're going this way again. Keep that flat, and now we're going to go down. And remember, the horns get a little bit wider at the base. So make them just a hair wider gradually. I'm just going to use up all my fiber here. And then I'm going to secure it down here. If you get a little bit of extra in his head, don't worry, we're going to put his ears on and it'll probably cover that up. So now the key here is going to be to make the second one look like the first one. Grab another hunk of fiber. I think this fiber that I'm wrapping with is some Shetland, which has got a really long staple. It doesn't like to be torn. It wraps really good though. So now we're going to go up. thin, keeping that flat. Don't let it twist on you. That's how things get lumpy. All the way to the end. This wire was already turning that way, so I'm going to bend it that way. And then I want to cover that end. My next wrap. Go down to, go up this side. Okay, this is a little bit thick. So I'm going to try and draft it out. It is not going to want to draft. Again, this takes practice. So don't feel bad if you don't get it right the first time. Remember I said I twisted, so it got lumpy. And I went the wrong way, so I got to come back this way. And you'll know if you're going the wrong way because your twist gets all messed up. Again, we're going to go all the way to the bottom, get a little bit fatter down here. Tight. You want to wrap tight. So this side is flatter, this side is a little rounder. You can build this up some more if you want, which I think I do. After I put the ears on, I will build it up some more. So let's put some ears on. We're going to take a little stack of your deer color, a little stack. Now you're going to draw your ear. Fold, draw the line, fold it in. Make two the same size. I don't think I have enough fiber on this second one. Maybe I do. These you want them well felted because they're going to stand alone. Peel it off. Basically what I'm doing is just felting these ears into a little piece of fabric. Okay, then you're going to take just a little teensy bit of pink. So here's where you have to decide which ear goes on which side. And I just like to poke it on there. A little piece over here. Let's just poke some fluff on there. They actually have fluff inside their ears, but it's usually white, but we're going to use pink because I like pink. And then this ear goes right here below this antler. If you push up the sides just a little bit as you're poking it on, it's going to give you the effect where it's smaller down here, that they're kind of folded, kind of like sheep ears. You could pre-do that by going like this and folding it in half before you stab it on if you want. You can do that. This one's going to go right here. below there. So then we're going to take a little bit over here, a little bit of deer, and we're going to cover this all up. Wool glue, dress it all up. So if you're doing an ornament, the back of your ornament is as important as the front. You don't want an ugly back on your ornament. If you're doing a pin, you know, you still want to clean it up, but you don't want it too ugly. But if, you know, if it's going on a package, I don't know. I just like them all cleaned up. So let's clean it up. Now we're going to build up this face. You are going to take a piece and go right down the middle from the horn like this. So what you can see here, while you put this ridge, we're just building that up just a little, because now we need some eyeballs. We may even add to this in a minute, because you know his nose is going to go right there. So let's take a little bit of white. You're going to make 2 ovals, little seeds. You can wrap that on a skewer if you're not comfortable freehanding this. I just take 2 little pillows, tiny little pillows. And add my little eyeballs on. You can exaggerate your eyes. Deer have big eyes. I know I do stare downs with them every time they're out there trying to eat my roses. Especially when yelling at them does nothing for them. The deer are like, nothing to see here, move along. So we have 2 little eyeballs. We still have a little ridge going on here. That's okay. Just poke it in. It's all going to come together. Then you need 2 little pupils. Or big pupils. Remember, deer have big eyes. Just little black dots. Just stick them in there. If it's easier, you can roll them up into little balls before you put them on. It's like do as I say, don't do as I do when I just put a big wad in there and start felting. It eventually turns into a round ball. So these this one needs a little bit more. They kind of stick up. I think one of the hardest challenges is getting your eyeballs the same size. Right now he looks like scared, like a deer in the headlights. So let's make him happy. You're going to take 2 tiny pieces, draw a line in both of them, fold them over, give it a little bit of felt. Where your line is, that's your eyelid. Let's just poke it on up here. Remember, how you put this eyelid on determines if your deer looks mad or happy. This one needs a little bit more pokes. So here's where we go next level. Well, we already are going next level, but let's. I'm going to take some fiber and put it right in here. Take it up, kind of giving him a brow. Just building up this ridge a little bit more. I think this eyeball's too big, so I'm gonna shrink it down with a little bit more brown. Kind of got to just use your judgment, look at pictures. And you know me, mine's not realistic, so if you want a realistic deer, you've come to the wrong place. This is the wrong video. Let's make this all one piece. I just got stuck on a piece of wire. You can see I'm pushing towards the center. Okay, so what's wrong with this eye is that you can't see the white down here. So I need to gather those fibers up. Gotta make a match. Remember, your eyeballs are your personality of your piece. So if you want to make him a realistic deer, give him a black nose. But we're going to make him a Rudolph deer, since it is the season. And I wrote up a pillow, and I folded it, and it is going to go right here. Tucking that fringe in. You definitely want this to stand up. And just finishing, take some little black fibers, small amount. We're going to give him some eyeliner under this lid. And I like to make it go up here at the end. That gives them way more personality. Because you want them to be smiling and happy, not sad. These fibers that are messed in my white are making me frustrated. is looking very serious. So let's give him 2 little tiny white dots in his eyeballs. 2 o'clock is standard, and you want tiny. Like, stuff them in there until they're super small. Gather them up with your needle and poke them in. Just a little tiny bit of light. I had lunch with a friend of mine who's a painter. She can paint people. I can't even draw people. And everything I draw comes out whimsical anyways. We were talking about little highlights, how we can do it with felt. You can see I'm still rounding off these edges. If you want to make them super happy, on this one I put the smile down here, but on this one it's telling me it needs to be right there. And then our reindeer will be happy. Yeah, the wool tells you what it wants to be. Let it do it. Just a little tiny bit of black fibers. Look at how cute he is. But, you know, I keep telling you this is bugging me, so I'm going to fix it. I have a little bit too much black in there. So I'm just covering it with white because I didn't like it. Remember, you can always add, you just can't take away. So we're adding. This is a devious deer with this smile. There you go. Oh, well, there's one more step. Actually, I forgot his little top knot. If you just have a little lock hanging around, I say little, look how long that is. You can add it right here, give him a little hairdo. That makes it super whimsical. Oh, I like this better than the first one, Cannon. Okay, and then the last thing I would do is if you have Power Wax by Powertex, I'll have a little bit of exciting news about that. I think I'm going to be able to sell this to you. I'm in discussion with the company. So I may have it on my website pretty soon. That sounds pretty cool, right? Because I know you guys were looking for where to get it. So I'm hoping to have it. It sounds like the company recently changed hands, which is why the United States supply got low. You know, because I sent them an email and I did get a response, so it's kind of cool. So if you power wax the horns, then all the little hairs go away. Don't be stingy about your power wax. And I think I probably mentioned before, the only disadvantage to power wax is it changes the color of your fiber a little bit, unless you apply heat. And I know that a blow dryer will work. I know that a heat gun is too hot. Ask me how I know. Little tiny craft iron works really well. If you, after it dries and you just put a little heat on it, it'll suck down into your fiber. It's kind of cool. Most of the time I just leave it though. Okay, horns are power waxed. And now you can see I like the second guy better than the first guy I did. But everyone comes out different, and I can't wait to see yours. Post them on the Liongate Farm Southern Oregon felting group. I would love to see them. And we'll see you next time. And you may not see us till the beginning of the year, but you might. You never know.